There are moments in life when the road feels endless and the weight on your shoulders feels heavier than the sky itself. You look around and everyone seems to be moving forward, smiling, achieving, living, while you feel stuck in the middle of a storm. When life closes in on you and everything feels like it's falling apart, there is a version of you that begins to wake up, a part of you that you didn't even know existed. It doesn't appear when the days are easy and the sun is warm. It doesn't show itself when everything goes according to plan. No, it waits. It waits for the nights that seem too heavy to carry. It waits for the moments when you are brought to your knees, when your hands are trembling, when your heart feels like it can't take another hit. That is when it rises. That is when your hidden strength begins to whisper to you, telling you to hold on a little longer, because the truth is, comfort never teaches you what pain can. The easy days never carve you into someone unshakable. It's the storms, the chaos, the unexpected losses, the betrayals, the failures that break something inside you only so you can rebuild yourself stronger than before. We spend so much time running from hardship, praying for an easy life, wishing for a path with no obstacles. But deep down, if life gave us nothing but comfort, we would never meet the version of ourselves that can survive anything. That version lives on the other side of struggle. Think about it. Every person you have ever admired, every story that has ever inspired you, was born in difficulty. The people who glow with resilience, the ones who walk with quiet confidence, the ones whose presence feels unshaken by storms. They didn't get there because life was kind to them. They got there because life tested them, tore them apart, and forced them to discover the power they didn't know they had. And whether you believe it or not, that power lives in you too. Hard times are a mirror. They show you who you really are. When everything is stripped away, your plans, your comfort, your sense of control, what's left is the real you, the part that refuses to give up, the part that learns to adapt, the part that chooses to rise even when it's easier to fall. That is the strength you can't see when things are good. It's buried deep, waiting for the moment when you have nothing left to lean on except yourself. And maybe that's why life allows the storms. Not to break you, but to introduce you to yourself. Because the you who walks out of the fire is not the same as the one who walked in. You come out with scars, yes, but also with courage. You come out with wisdom, with a heart that understands pain yet still chooses to love. With a mind that has seen darkness yet still looks for light. With a spirit that has been through hell yet still refuses to give up. And the beautiful thing about discovering this strength is that it never leaves you. Once you've met the version of yourself who can endure, survive, and rise again, you carry it with you for the rest of your life. There are moments in life when pain feels like it will last forever. The days stretch out endlessly, and the nights feel even longer. You wake up with the same heaviness in your chest, the same questions swirling in your mind, wondering if it will ever get better. In those moments, it is easy to believe that this is how life will always be, that the sadness or the struggle will never leave you. But the truth is, pain is never meant to stay. It comes like a storm, loud, chaotic, overwhelming. And then one day, often without warning, the skies begin to clear. Pain feels permanent when you are in the middle of it, because it demands your attention. It consumes your thoughts, fills your heart, makes you question everything you thought you knew about yourself and the world. It doesn't ask for permission, it just arrives and changes everything. But here's what most people don't see while they are in it. Beneath all that hurt, something is happening to you. Pain is shaping you, teaching you, carving out parts of you that comfort never could. Because when life is easy, we don't often stop to reflect, to grow, to learn who we are beneath the surface. It's in the hardest moments that you discover the depths of your own strength. Think back to a time when you went through something you thought would break you. Maybe it was the loss of someone you loved, a dream that shattered, a betrayal that left you breathless. At the time, you didn't see an end to it. But you are here now. You survived it. And somewhere along the way, you changed. You learned to stand taller. You learned to listen to yourself more. You learned who was real in your life and who was only there for the good days. You learned how to keep moving forward even when you didn't feel ready to. That growth, that transformation, that stays with you long after the pain fades. Pain is temporary because life keeps moving. The world keeps spinning. Time doesn't stop for anyone, and neither does healing. Your heart has a way of finding its own rhythm again, of softening after it hardens, of opening up again after it's been hurt. But the version of you that comes out on the other side is never the same as the one who walked in. You carry the lessons with you. You carry the resilience. You carry the quiet confidence of someone who has faced the storm and knows they can survive it again if they have to. And maybe that's the gift hidden inside the hurt. Pain teaches you things ease never could. It shows you what really matters. It strips away the noise and leaves only what is real. It builds empathy, because once you've known darkness, you never look at someone else's pain the same way again. It builds gratitude, because you learn to appreciate the days when the sun shines a little more. It builds strength, because every time you thought you couldn't go on, you did, and that growth becomes part of you forever. Life has a way of knocking you down when you least expect it. One moment, everything feels steady, like you finally have a grip on where you're going, and then out of nowhere, the ground disappears beneath your feet. Plans fall apart. Opportunities slip through your hands. People you trusted walk away. You fail at something you thought was certain. And as you sit there in the middle of all that chaos, it feels like life is punishing you, like the universe is against you. But what you don't see in those moments is that every setback you face is shaping the road ahead in ways you cannot yet understand. Setbacks feel cruel because they take away control. You thought you knew how things were supposed to go. You built dreams around timelines, around people, around places that felt safe. And when it all breaks, it leaves you staring at pieces of a life that doesn't look like what you planned. But here is the truth you only learn later. Every time life shuts a door, every time you are forced to stop, every time you have to start again from nothing, you are being pushed towards something bigger than what you first imagined. The delay is not the end. It's preparation, because when everything goes smoothly, you don't grow, you don't question, you don't change. Comfort convinces you to stay the same, but setbacks, they humble you. They teach you patience. They force you to rebuild, to look at things differently, to find strength and creativity you didn't know you had. They strip away the unnecessary and leave you with only what matters. They prepare you not just for the moment when things get better, but for the version of you who will rise when they do. Think about a seed planted in the ground. At first, it looks like nothing is happening. In fact, from the outside, it looks like loss. The seed disappears into the dirt, buried in darkness. But underneath, life is beginning. Roots are forming. The seed is transforming into something that will one day break through the surface and reach for the sun. Setbacks feel the same. They bury you for a while. They make you feel like everything is over. But really, they are the place where your comeback begins one day. You will look back and realize that the things you thought were destroying you were the very things teaching you everything you needed for the next chapter of your life. The job you didn't get taught you to build your own opportunities. The relationship that ended taught you what love should feel like. The failure that embarrassed you taught you resilience and persistence. Each setback planted something inside you, wisdom, strength, courage, that nothing else could have given you. And when your comeback finally arrives, it's different than you first imagined, because you're not just returning to where you were before. You're rising higher, stronger, wiser than you ever were. You're carrying the lessons, the strength, the scars that prove you survived. The setback was never the end. It was the training ground for everything that comes next. There are days when life feels like a storm that won't stop raging. Everything hits at once. The problems, the losses, the things you didn't see coming. It feels like the wind is too strong, the rain is too heavy, and no matter how hard you try to stand, something keeps pushing you back down. In those moments, it's easy to believe the storm is bigger than you, that it has the power to destroy you completely. But what you don't realize while you're standing there in the middle of it all is that storms don't last forever, and you are not as fragile as you think. The storm makes so much noise that it's hard to hear your own strength. It blinds you with the chaos, makes you think that everything is falling apart when, in reality, something inside you is holding you together, even when it feels like it's breaking. You've been through things before. Times you didn't think you would survive. Nights that felt endless. Moments that hurt so deeply, you didn't know how to keep going. Yet here you are. Every single storm you have faced so far has passed, and you are still standing. What no one tells you when you're caught in the middle of it is that strength doesn't always look like bravery. It doesn't always mean standing tall with unshaken confidence. Sometimes strength is quiet. Sometimes it's messy. Sometimes it's just taking one more breath when you want to give up. One more step when your body feels heavy. One more day when you can't see the point. That is strength too. The strength of refusing to let the storm win, because the storm is loud. It will tell you that you can't handle this. It will whisper that you're not enough, that you're too tired, that you should just give up. But storms lie. They make you forget everything you've already survived. They make you focus only on the chaos and not on the fact that deep inside, you have always carried the ability to keep going. That part of you that keeps moving forward, even when everything hurts, is proof that you are stronger than anything life can throw at you. And maybe that's what storms are for. Maybe they exist to reveal you to yourself, to show you that even when the winds push against you, you don't break. Even when the rain soaks everything you thought was certain, you learn to start again. Even when lightning strikes and the world feels dark, you find a way to keep walking toward the light. There is something unshakable inside you that the storm cannot take away. No matter how hard it tries, one day, the skies will clear. They always do. And when you look back, you will see that the storm did not defeat you. It shaped you. It tested you. It taught you how strong you really are. And the next time life brings dark clouds, you will remember that you've been through worse, and you've come out stronger every single time. We live in a world that celebrates speed. Big achievements. Loud victories. The kind of success that makes headlines and draws applause. And because of that, it's easy to believe that progress only counts if it's fast, if it's noticeable, if it comes with fireworks and a cheering crowd. But life doesn't always work that way. Growth isn't always a dramatic moment. Sometimes it's quiet, almost invisible. Sometimes it looks like small steps forward when no one is watching, when no one even knows how hard it was just to take them. There are seasons in life when moving forward doesn't look like a giant leap. It looks like getting out of bed on a day when the weight of the world feels too heavy. It looks like choosing to try again after yesterday ended in failure. It looks like whispering to yourself to keep going even when the road ahead feels endless. And yet, because the world praises speed, we convince ourselves these small steps don't matter. But they do. They matter more than we realize, because progress is not about how fast you move. It's about the fact that you keep moving at all. A single step may not look like much today. It may feel slow compared to everyone else, but a single step taken every day will take you further than standing still wishing for the strength to run. Those small steps are what carry you through the hardest seasons, because they teach you persistence, patience, and the courage to keep going even when the finish line feels far away. Think about climbing a mountain. From the bottom, the peak looks impossible. If you stand there staring at how far you have to go, you will feel overwhelmed, maybe even defeated before you start. But if you focus on one small step, then another, and another, eventually you look up and realize you've made it higher than you thought you could. Life works the same way. Dreams, healing, personal growth, they all begin with small steps that slowly add up to something big, and sometimes small steps are all you have the strength for. That's okay. The world may tell you to hustle harder, to do more, to move faster, but your journey is not a race against anyone else. Some days will be heavy. Some seasons will feel like all you can do is crawl forward inch by inch. That is still progress. Because progress is not measured by speed, it's measured by direction. As long as you are moving toward the life you want, toward the person you want to become, it counts. One day, you will look back at the steps that felt small, the ones that didn't seem like they mattered, and you will see they were the reason you made it. They built your strength slowly. They carried you through the nights when you thought you couldn't go on. They kept you in the game when quitting felt easier. Small steps forward don't just create progress, they create resilience. They prove to you over and over again that no matter how slow the journey feels, you are still moving forward, and that is enough. There comes a point in life when everything you thought was certain begins to crumble. The plans you made fall apart. The people you trusted change or leave. The things you counted on no longer feel stable. It's like the ground beneath your feet shifts, and suddenly you're standing in the middle of a life that doesn't look like the one you imagined. In those moments, it's easy to lose faith, not just in the world around you, but in yourself. You start questioning every decision, doubting every strength you thought you had, wondering if you're even capable of putting the pieces back together. But here's the truth most people don't tell you. When everything else falls apart, the most important thing you can hold on to is your belief in yourself. Because that belief becomes your anchor. It becomes the thing that steadies you when nothing else feels steady. It becomes the quiet voice in the middle of chaos, reminding you that no matter how dark it feels right now, you have survived before, and you will survive again. Believing in yourself doesn't mean pretending everything is fine. It doesn't mean ignoring the pain or acting like you have all the answers. It simply means refusing to give up on the part of you that knows you are capable of rebuilding, even if you have to start from nothing. It means trusting that the strength you need will reveal itself the moment you decide to keep going. Because deep down, you already carry everything you need to rise again. You just forget it when life gets heavy. When the world around you breaks, it's easy to wait for someone to come save you, to hope for the perfect solution, the perfect timing, the perfect opportunity to fix everything. But life rarely works that way. The rescue you're waiting for is already inside you. It shows up the moment you choose to believe that your story is not over, that you are more than the things that didn't work out, that you still have a future worth fighting for even when the present feels unbearable. And yes, people may doubt you. Circumstances may discourage you. Fear will try to convince you that you're not enough. But that's why believing in yourself matters most when everything else is falling apart. Because that belief is what keeps you moving when the path ahead is unclear. It's what helps you stand back up after life knocks you down. It's what turns endings into beginnings, losses into lessons, failures into foundations for something new. One day, you will look back at the moments when you had nothing to hold on to except yourself, and you will realize those were the moments that shaped you the most. They taught you how to trust your own strength. They taught you how to keep going when everything in you wanted to give up. They taught you that even when the world around you falls apart, you can rebuild, not because everything got easier, but because you chose to believe you could. So when life tests you, when the weight feels too heavy, when the road ahead seems endless, remember this: you have already survived so much more than you give yourself credit for. Every challenge has shaped you. Every storm has revealed your strength. Every setback has planted seeds for a greater comeback. Progress may be slow, the nights may feel long, and the world around you may fall apart. But as long as you keep moving, as long as you keep believing in yourself, you are not done yet. Because the power to rise, to rebuild, to begin again has always lived inside you. If you want, I can translate the entire speech with the conclusion into Urdu while keeping the same emotional tone. Would you like me to do that? There are moments in life when the road feels endless and the weight on your shoulders feels heavier than the sky itself. You look around and everyone seems to be moving forward, smiling, achieving living, while you,